How did Simulator Games ruin Roblox? Hello and welcome back to another video here on Block Status. 2018 was probably the worst year for Roblox games. The only exception this year was the Roblox Egg Hunt, which is also possibly the best Roblox Egg Hunt ever on Roblox. Such a contrasting year. Anyway, we have our explanation in today's video, so make sure you watch the video right till the end. Guys, we are talking about Roblox simulators. The simulator games have always been historically very good on Roblox except for 2018-2019. There were a couple of games that were quite good and are still relevant today. The rest though are just uninspired, lazy, cash grabs made solely with the intention to pumping and dumping the game very quickly, getting as much money as possible from players and then repeating the process a couple of weeks later. Now, the concept of Roblox simulators isn't all bad in itself. It's essentially a modernized version of the classic Roblox Tycoon. The simulator trend peaked in around the latter half of 2019 to 2021, and people who have been playing Roblox during this time period know what simulators we are referring to. One of the best simulator games, Pet Simulator, is definitely a cash grab, and no, we are not criticizing the game because the gameplay was really enjoyable and every game developer at one point wants money from his game, so that's okay. However, a slew of Roblox developers were soon inspired to make their own pop-up simulator games on Roblox, and some of these games were based on stupid concepts. Take for example, Thinking Simulator. What was that game all about? Just moving around the map thinking about making more points. Now in 2018 we had so many of these silly games that were short-lived. The games did have a hype about them when they were released, but they died out pretty quickly. This led to another problem. Gamers spent a ton of money on these games due to the hype. The games though died within a week. So many people lost a ton of money spent on such silly cash-grabbing games. Now, who did these games appeal to mostly? If you guessed kids, you're right. These games were just misleading. So were these simulator games a morally correct thing is surely a thing up for debate. The reason why this is a moral dilemma is because of the fact that most of these simulator games have eggs inside of them. These eggs are a concept from gacha games where players have a small chance of unboxing a small rare item inside of an item they decide to purchase. Now this idea is too addictive and also something linked to gambling. The problem was so serious that Roblox decided to introduce guidelines to help players understand the rarity of the items that you could get from certain things. But this only came to be enforced in July 2019, a long way after the problem actually started. Like we said, kids were the ones affected the most since they had no knowledge about the rarity of getting an item in the game even if you spent money. And developers would just say you could get the item in the egg without ever being there in the first place. And remember, it wasn't compulsory to disclose this at that time. The worst part about this though was when simulator games started getting named. They would not call themselves Simulator, for instance, Thinking Simulator, but they would be named something else altogether, for instance, Ninja Legends. So, when you click on play, you think this game is something new and unique, and then when you play the game you realize it's a simulator game. This was totally misleading and you were most certainly ripped. It seemed that Roblox was soon going to be a platform solely for simulator games until Creekcraft decided to speak out on the topic. Creekcraft basically said that the concept of pets was becoming far too common, and not only that, the same pets started appearing on all other games. Now when Creekcraft uploaded the video back in 2019, he received some hate from not only developers but also gamers for some weird reasons. But he literally spoke the truth, speaking how these games were ripping off gamers and using unethical practices. Simulators today in 2021. After 2 years, the concept of simulators still exists today as the time of making this video. It is still a culture to this very day. However, it is a bit better than it was a couple of years ago. Simulator games today are still cash grabs as they were back in 2018, but compared to the past when simulators were prevalent, they have fallen off a lot in comparison. Today, there is still a large player base that play these games. It is not like back in 2018 to 2019. So, will simulator games rise in prevalence once again in the future? We are not sure about that. And if you are wondering which genre of games are the most popular in this time period, it's none other than role-playing games. That brings us to the end of today's video. Hope you enjoyed today's video on the call of simulator games. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.